I'll never forget the night we went to see Sugarland and Sarah Bareilles at the State Fair. It was 3 hours away, and we had exactly $62 to our name. That had to cover gas, the entrance fee, and maybe a snack at the fair. We packed sandwiches and filled up water bottles because there was no way I could afford fair food. My husband was fuming, convinced we were going to run out of gas on the way home. He wasn't wrong to worry. The numbers didn't add up and I didn't have a backup plan. That was me in my bad money management days. The days when I always felt like there wasn't enough, when every dollar was stretched so thin it might snap, and when I made choices based more on hope than reality, pushing aside whether we could actually afford it or not. And while we made it to the concert and back that night, the truth is I was gambling with more than just our gas tank. I was gambling with our peace of mind, our sense of security, and our ability to enjoy the moment without fear. Hi there, my friend. If you're new here, my name is Sarah, and I'm the owner of FrozenPennies.com. I'm a financial coach and the author of the best-selling book, Fundamentally Frugal, link below. Looking back now, that memory is one of the turning points for me. It's where I started to realize that money isn't just about numbers on a page. It's about choices, values, and the stories we tell ourselves. And over the years, I've learned some powerful lessons about money. Lessons that are often overlooked, but make all the difference. Gratitude is the first step. Before I ever learned about budgets or bank accounts, I had to learn how to be grateful for what I already had. Money feels different when you stop chasing what you don't have and start noticing the blessings sitting right in front of you. Gratitude isn't just about feeling good. It changes the way that you spend. It makes you think twice before buying something you don't need because you already see how much you already have. Security creates stress, not solutions. Back when we lived paycheck to paycheck, I thought stress would push me to work harder. Instead, it made me sloppy. Scarcity doesn't sharpen your focus. It clouds your judgment. When you're desperate, you make quick choices that don't serve you in the long run. Now, I learned that money works better when you build it from a calm, clear space and not out of panic. Budgets are a form of freedom. People hear budget and think restriction. Now, I used to think that way too, but the truth is, budgets are permission slips. They let you say yes to the things that actually matter without guilt. When I finally started giving every dollar a job, it felt like I had more freedom, not less, because I knew where everything was going. Do you want a simple way to get started? I've got a free budget planner you can download. Just check for the link in the description. Your values should guide your wallet. I used to spend without thinking about whether my purchases lined up with my values. Once I started asking, does this match what matters most to me? Everything shifted. If family, health, or security are your top values, then your money should reflect that. Otherwise, you'll always feel a gap between what you say is important and how you actually live. Now, I hate winter. I do. Nothing about the cold temperatures of February appeal to me. So, I save money all year long to get out of upstate New York and escape to the Sunshine State. We don't take any other vacations. This is important to me, so I cut back on other things during the year to take that 2-week vacation. Debt isn't just numbers, it's emotional weight. Now, I used to think of debt as just bills in the mail, but the truth is, debt carries shame, anxiety, and pressure. Paying off debt isn't just financial, it's emotional freedom. Every payment I made was like peeling off a heavy layer I didn't even realize I was carrying. If you're looking for a great debt freedom resource, the link's in the description below. The cheapest option isn't always the best. There were times I bought the cheapest version of everything, food, shoes, even tools, and I ended up paying twice when they broke or wore out. Sometimes spending a little more upfront saves you much more in the long run. That lesson hit hard when I realized my frugal choices were actually costing me more. Now, in this season of life, my grocery choices are important to me. Eating good quality whole foods means waging my bets on longevity. Investing in yourself pays the best returns. One of the biggest lessons I've learned is that money spent on yourself, books, courses, therapy, coaching, even rest, isn't wasted. It multiplies. When you grow as a person, your ability to earn, manage, and enjoy money grows right along with you. If you know me at all, you know I love books, and I also really love personal development. I definitely believe in lifelong learning. Generosity changes the way you see money. For a long time, I thought I had to wait until I had enough to give. But giving, even small amounts, shifted my mindset. It made me feel rich in ways my bank account never could. Generosity reminds you that money is a tool, not a master. Find those organizations that are near and dear to your heart. Our school puts on a back-to-school fair event every year, and I love donating school supplies. This year, during all of those back-to-school clearance sales, I'm picking up stuff that I know will be perfect for next year's back-to-school fair. Saying no is a money skill. I didn't realize how much I was losing just because I was afraid to say no. No to dinner invites I couldn't afford, no to kids' fundraisers that didn't fit the budget, no to upgrades I didn't need. Every no is actually a yes to something more important down the line, especially if it doesn't align with your values and goals. Slow progress is still progress. There is nothing glamorous about paying off debt $50 at a time, but every payment mattered. I used to beat myself up because I wasn't making big leaps, but over time, those tiny steps added up to big change. Small, consistent progress is worth celebrating. Money is emotional, not just mathematical. I used to believe money was just math, income, expenses, savings, but the truth is, money is deeply tied to our feelings. Guilt, pride, fear, excitement. The sooner I accepted that, the easier it became to make decisions that worked for my heart and for my budget. After all, personal finance is personal. Experiences beat things every time. That Sugarland concert taught me something. Even when money was tight, I valued the experience more than stuff. Looking back, I don't remember the cheap shoes or clearance sweater I bought, but I do remember that night singing along to my favorite songs. Money spent on memories has always been worth more than money spent on things. Comparison is a thief of both joy and dollars. The fastest way to blow your budget is to compare your life to someone else's. I wasted money chasing trends, trying to keep up, or pretending I had more than I did. The moment I stopped comparing, I stopped overspending, and I felt more content with my own path. I get to choose what I like and stick with that. Financial security is more fun than any splurge. Now, I used to think that a splurge would make me feel good. And sure, sometimes it did, for about 10 minutes. But nothing compares to the peace of knowing the bills are paid, the savings account is growing, and you don't have to panic when the car breaks down. That kind of security lasts longer than any new purse ever will. Money is a tool, not a measure of worth. For years, I let money, or the lack of it, define my self-worth. But money isn't who you are, it's just a tool. It doesn't measure your intelligence, your kindness, your creativity, or your value as a human being. Once I separated money from my identity, I found more confidence, even in seasons when money was still tight. That night at the Sugarland and Sarah Bareilles concert is burned into my memory, not because of the music, although that was great, but because of the fear I carried in the pit of my stomach the whole way home. I couldn't fully enjoy the songs I loved, the dancing of the crowd, or even the moment I'd been looking forward to because I was so worried about running out of gas. That's what a lack of control over money does. It steals your joy right out from underneath you. Today, I look back on that version of myself with a lot of compassion and a little bit of tough love. I want to reach back through time and tell her, you don't have to live this way. You can learn, you can grow, and you can make choices that give you peace instead of panic. And that's what these 15 lessons are really about. They're not about perfection, and they're not about doing everything right the first time. They're about learning to use money as a tool for freedom, gratitude, and joy, not fear. So maybe your version of not enough doesn't look exactly like mine. Maybe it's the credit card balance that won't go away, or the savings account that never seems to grow, or the constant feeling that you're behind. But I promise you can rewrite your story just like I did. And if this video spoke to you, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and watch this video next.